the egg. We can argue this for ages. This argument is pointless. But the question is imperative to the knowledge of our existence. Where did we come from? Why are we here? Is everything an example of chance? But if there is no numbers, then there is no chance for chance. There is only zero, which just brings us back to the question, where did math begin? Or where did everything come from? Some scientists think that we may have come from another dimension, a dimension that is not of time, per se, or numbers, but of something we can't explain, something that, by chance, gave us a numerical system which is understood to be reality, a galactic slot machine, if you will. This theory, though, is mathematically impossible. Since our reality is numerical, then there is no chance of numerics coming from a dimension that is not numerical. To put it simply, something cannot come from nothing. So science is confined by mathematics. In order for there to be a reality, there has to be an unknown outside of the known. This is the part we don't understand. And this explains my point and leaves no room for falsification, only thought and speculation that will be left with the same question, how the nothing did this all happen? So I decided to look for answers elsewhere. I began thinking to myself, the Bible is the only book that claims to be written by God. So if God, who created reality, were to write a book, don't you think that he may have done it in the same fashion? Maybe put his fingerprint on it? Everything else we see is three-dimensional. Remember, there is a number to everything. There is number to God's book. I don't mean page numbers. I mean from letters out to books or vice versa. I had heard of the Bible codes, looked into a little bit, was never really impressed with any of it. I don't read Hebrew, Greek, or Aramaic for one, so it would take a lot of time for me to be able to decode any of it, and it would probably be too complex to actually get more than just a few words out of it because of its nature. It's a big book. There's lots of numbers and letters, and it could go. You could run tons of patterns through it and get information out of it. So, what good is it to us? Well, the thing that I got from it is that it tells us that the Bible was possibly written in the fashion of our reality. In code. What is a code? What is the skipping of letters? It is giving number to letters and three-dimensionally redistributing it, the order into two-dimensional form. In order for a code to work, you have to have a key pattern or coordinates. You need something to make it take shape. So where do we go from here? My next step was to take the common hexagonal pattern that we know from science and to see if it would match the numbers of the Bible. At first, I didn't know how to do this and was busy enough with life that I decided to just not even think about it until later. But one day while my Uncle Tim and Aunt Marcia were in town, and kind of all became clear, Tim asked me if I wanted to see something cool, knowing what my reaction would be, obviously. I said, yeah, let's see it, man. So he opens his Bible up and sets it on the kitchen table. There was a big tacky bookmark in the center of it, right where he opened it. And he asked me if I had ever seen the center verse of the Bible. I said that I was not aware of what the verse is. So he continues explaining that the shortest chapter in the Bible is Psalm 117, or 117. The longest chapter is Psalm 119, and inside Psalm 118 is the center verse, Psalm 118:8, which reads, "It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man." He reads that and says, I just thought that was neat, I agreed, but I don't think he had any idea what was going on in my head at this point. So then he shows me the next verse, Psalm 118:9. "It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes." I thought that was odd. The center verse, the supposed center verse, is almost identical to the next. Comparing the Bible to the universe, if the universe came from nothing, why would the Bible have a center verse? It most likely wouldn't, but what I would find later is that the verses were actually irrelevant to what I was searching for, this whole theory that I had. Excuse me. I take a drink of beer. So we discussed the Mayans and their calendar. I talked with him about my theories, and he stated that I should probably be an engineer. We had a good chat. He got tired of all the deep thinking, and he went to bed. So I'm still up, and I'm on it now. My brain is dialed in. I start researching the numbers of the Bible, and I got the intelligence that I needed.